guys, welcome back.
What's up?
I have here with me my handsome fiance. What's your name?
My name's David. Nice to meet you all.
Alright.
I'm new to the channel. Dang. Let me introduce myself. Hi.
No. As you can see, guys, we're somewhere else out in the world. So currently we are in Maldives, specifically in Umadu Island. So Umadu is like one of the islands here in Maldives.
A very local island. We decided we wanted to go a more local way. Every time I travel, that's always my choice. Yeah, we're not staying in the cabanas. I know people like to stay in the cabanas. That's cool. We were looking for a cheaper, a more friendlier way for a young couple to travel. So we took Malhu Island, and it was a great idea. It's very local, and there's not a lot of tourists. There's barely anybody. We got this beach to ourselves, literally.
Nobody's here. I think we only saw one person.
So it's great. It's a great choice. The only bad thing I would say is there's nothing on the island. Basically, there's not a bank. There's like 2 cafes. But on the bright side, our guest house does provide almost everything. If we have a problem, they'll let us, they'll help us out. And the food is great. So
super great.
In reality, you don't need anything. Just come here and enjoy the sunny side of life.
Well, if you guys wanted to have like a silent, away from many people, like if you don't like crowded places, then Umadu is really perfect. But if you're the person like you want to have like social life outside, then there are a lot of islands too. But we prefer this way. It's like naked and afraid vibe.
Yeah, but there's nobody's naked here. Nobody's naked. We
yes.
got clothes on.
People here are very conservative. There's a specific place that they wanted you to wear like bikinis and revealing clothes. Like this kind of clothes I'm wearing, it's not allowed in some other places. I have like a cover up with me. So anyway, we will be sharing you today what we are going to, like, you will be experiencing when you wanted to travel here. Like I'm the Philippines and he's from America, from the USA. So we will be sharing you the adventure and the trip, the traveling experiences we've had. You start?
Sure. So my story was kind of crazy because as I'm getting ready for my Maldives trip, I was getting my visa. I was trying to get my visa for my Philippine trip coming up in December. And if anybody here is watching from the Philippines, any LDR couple, any husband that's married to a Filipina, that you know that going to the Philippines right now is tough. So I was trying to do 2 things at the same time, and I ended up sending my 9A visa packet with my passport. So you already know that if you gotta send your passport, and it's heart-wrenching just to know that your passport is just out there. Anyways, they took too long, and my flight was coming up.
Your flight was like when? Saturday?
They're so busy they couldn't respond, this and that. I contacted a few people, and they called me back on Wednesday morning. They were like, hey, we heard your messages. I know you have an emergency. We could send it. And I was like, what about if I pick it up? Next thing you know, I get on a flight Wednesday night, get there Wednesday night, and then on Thursday morning I get my passport. That night I come back to Florida, and then that Saturday I'm getting ready for my trip. So it's super long trip. Of course, I took the economy route, and it's 2 layovers for a lot of the Florida, Boston, Qatar, Doha, and then Maldives. And then with Qatar Airways, very good airline. They treat you well. One of the best, I think, in 2020 and 2021. So overall, it's a long flight, but it was worth it. Overall, like 40. And if you want to add the San Francisco adventure, then that's probably like another 20, 24. So it was worth it. It was worth it. We planned this trip about 4 months ago. 3 months ago.
More than 3 months ago.
And then one quick tip: when you're looking at flights, look at Google Flights. Don't go directly to some airlines. Google Flights will let you know where's the cheapest ticket. I'm sure some of y'all know. And we were able to find a good price range for both of us. considering it's Maldives, and there's not a lot of choices because of Filipino visa issues. So long
Maldives is a
flight.
great choice.
No, it's a great choice.
We will be sharing the experiences and the expenses also of coming to Maldives later on in a separate video. So for now, it's gonna be like the requirements of how you're gonna get here to Malek if you are from the Philippines. Well, I think other nationalities can get here depending on the restrictions of every country. So that's all for you?
Yeah, just prepare for a long flight, an adventure, and pack well. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Well, for American citizens, not so many things to prepare. But for Filipinos, Filipinas, so you really have to take note of this. I really wrote down this stuff here. I think it's more than 10. No, kidding. So if you're a Filipina and you're meeting your other half, especially in the immigration, that's where you really have to worry about, because you don't want to be offloaded. Offloading is the worst nightmare when you're traveling and you're looking forward to meeting your other half after almost 2 years of not seeing each other, and then you came to the airport and figure out you're offloaded. That's a nightmare. I would cry a bucket if that happened to me. So I prepared. Well, certainly I over prepared.
We were worried.
Because I don't want to be offloaded. So first thing here, of course, you need to have your passport. Your passport needs to be valid at least 6 to 1 year of your flight. It shouldn't be expiring soon. Make sure that your passport is renewed and it is like valid for another year from that trip of yours. Because if not, there's a chance that you might not be accepted because they will be checking your passport. Also, what's the good thing about being in Male or going to Maldives is you don't need to get a tourist visa. So this is an open island, open country. Filipino citizens can come here with just your passport, which is great. So that's one plus. Next is your RT-PCR test. You need RT-PCR test too, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
I'll go over the requirements for the American side, but
yeah, we can go with one of.
well, yeah, wherever you go right now traveling, you need a PCR test.
Yeah, and a negative RT-PCR test.
For example, something like mine, it'll say negative at the top. It just have everything there negative. That's what they want to see from a trusted source. So this is in America, CVS. If you're watching this from the United States, you already know what CVS is. It's in every corner. So it's very easy. Go through the drive-through. The next day they give you the results. You're ready to go.
And you really have to have the PCR test in like accredited clinics and establishments, because I think you can find that in Google, those accredited clinics that they will really accept the results as negative or positive.
The no is 96, no more than 96 hours before your departure.
And the validity.
So some countries is 72, Maldives is 96. I just did like 70 something, 80 hours before my departure just to be a little safer. Just make sure you get that result by that time frame, because you're gonna need a health declaration form. We'll talk about that later.
All right. So for example, in my case, I really made sure that the result is gonna be like valid. So my flight is on a Sunday. It's on a weekend, and it's like prior to holidays, like 31st of October, that's my flight. And then November 1 is holiday in the Philippines. So on the 30th, I went to this clinic. It's called Biopath. I will put the link on their like clinic. You can do your test right there. And what's good about Biopath is they give the result 8 hours after you have the test. So you can get it on the same day. And that's valid for the next 72 hours, like 3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, or so. So when you travel, then you are sure that your test result is still valid by then. That's RT-PCR test. Second is hotel booking. So you need to show proof of accommodation. So we have proof of accommodation from the guest house we're staying right now, because they will be looking at it. As much as possible, it's better if you have like itineraries of activities that you will be doing here in Maldives, because they will ask what will you be doing there. So, because I have an experience when I went to Taiwan before, the immigration was asking me if I have an itinerary of activities aside from the booking of a hostel or a hotel that I will be staying. So we made our own. We created this one, and then we asked the staff of the guest house to sign it for us. So we printed it out, and yeah, you need to have that one as much as possible. Either you have it on your email but be sure to print a hard copy just in case some technical problems arise. So print everything, put it in a folder, and keep it with you all throughout the flight.
Yeah, one thing about this guest house, Kirulhilla, Maldives, they're so good with communication. We've been talking to them for about 4 months, and they're always checking up on us. Is everything okay? Did everything go right? Let us know what you need. Let's plan. And we created this, and they accepted. Like, yes, we'll stamp it just in case immigration in her country or my country or anything they're asking for it. So it was good.
Yeah. All right. The second one is round trip ticket. No, that's the third one. Yeah, round trip ticket. Of course, they're very strict when it comes to Filipinas, especially young Filipinas at their 20s or 30s, early 30s. They want to make sure that you will not be staying illegally into your destination country. I think that's one of the concerns of the immigration, along with other reasons. But of course, you really have to show proof that you are returning back to the Philippines. And also, when I arrived here in Maldives, in their airport, the immigration officer of Maldives also asked me for the itinerary return ticket. Like, he asked me, what's the purpose of my traveling? And then I said, I'm going to meet him. And then he also asked, after meeting him, are you going to return to your country? I said, yes. And then he asked me, can I see your ticket, the return ticket? So I printed out also my itinerary since from the beginning until my return flight. So that's very important. After the ticket, you have to have travel insurance. Okay, take note, the travel insurance must be covering the COVID-19, because they won't accept the insurance if it's not covering the COVID, because that's the biggest problem right now, the COVID-19. So you have to make sure it's covered with it. I got my travel insurance in Safety Wing. I'll also link.
Oh, sorry, jumping spider.
Oh, that sounds crazy. Jumping spider.
Yeah, it's jumping everywhere.
It's just tiny spider, don't worry.
I don't like spiders.
So I got it from Safety Wing. For me, it costs only, how much was that, babe? $20 something? Because it varies according to the length of stay.
Yeah, for her it was like $25.
Somewhere like that.
For me it was $125 because I got extra coverage for COVID, and I used Alliance. And then with Alliance, you put what's your total trip, and if I'm not mistaken, if your trip is affected, that it's not directly towards your trip. Basically, like, my trip is to be with her, and if she was to get affected, I'm covered to some extent, I believe. So, but the important thing is that it covers COVID.
Yeah.
So Alliance, I always go with Alliance every time I travel. I recommend them.
Yes. Okay. So again, the longer the days you stay, the more money you have to pay. So for me, I only covered the days where I'm traveling, the day of my departure until the day I arrive in Cebu. So that's like around 10 days for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So after the travel insurance, you have to download the Bureau of Immigration Declaration form. So while I was researching about things I need to prepare and documents to prepare when you travel to Maldives, I've never seen a video that says download this form. This is very important. But when I do my check-in in the Mactan International Airport, the airline personnel was asking me for that form. I will show also that one in the description. The Bureau of Immigration Declaration form is very important because you have to fill it up along with the airline information. It's really important. It's just a one-page document, so that won't hurt. Be sure to download it, print it out as a hard copy, and you can just fill it up ahead of time, or you can fill it up there at the airport. Then after that one is the health declaration. We call it IMUGA in Maldives.
Yeah, so she was talking about one for Philippines for her case, and then one for Maldives. That one's really important. That one's within 24 hours before your departure.
Yeah.
And it's pretty straightforward, and most of the resorts, I think all of them probably, and the guest house are in the system already. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't even know the address. It should be already there. And yeah, so they're gonna ask you for a vaccination. They're gonna ask you for your PCR test. Upload your PCR test. Upload a picture of yourself, passport style, arrival.
Upload your passport as well, right?
Passport? No.
Just the vaccine.
Your passport number.
But yeah, passport.
Vaccine, PCR test.
Negative result, PCR test.
Yeah.
Yes.
And departure, arrival, etc. And so it's kind of weird. After that, it just goes to a QR code.
Yeah. Print the QR code.
Print it out. Print it out. I was asked for my QR code 3 times. And I don't even know what the QR code really means. They just want to see it. Like, you got your QR code? Yes. So it looks something like this. Print it out. Have it on your phone. It looks like something like this. And it's only valid for a certain, like 24 hours. So if you do your health declaration form too early, the QR code will not be valid. So
It's gonna expire.
Yeah. So
within 24 hours.
Print it out.
All right. After that is, of course, the vaccination card or the certificate. For us in the Philippines, we have this digital vaccination card. If you're vaccinated, fully vaccinated, you will have to go to Department of Department of Health.
Department of Education.
Department of Health. There's like a website to get like a digital vaccination card. I'll also put the links down there. So you have to register yourself there. Well, it is automatically generated. Once you put your name, your birthday, your information, it will show that you are vaccinated, first dose and second dose, and the type of the brand of the vaccine that you got. It will show, and then they will show the certificate there that you are vaccinated. Print it out, as well as get those. Prepare also the vaccination card that you got when you got your first shot, your second shot. I'm sure you know what I was talking about. You print it out also like an ID. Keep it, or as much as possible, keep also a soft copy on your phone. Take a picture of it just in case. You have to be really extra ready. So those are very important. Another additional?
Yeah, so I took my original one with the CDC, and I took copies and I took digital copies. They just want to see it. Whatever you think is necessary, print it out just in case. Carry a folder with you just in case. Have it ready. It expedites things, and it's less stress on them, less stress on you, and it saves time because you might have a fast layover. She had like less than 2 hours. Thankfully,
Yeah,
she
I
was
was transiting from Cebu to Singapore. The layover time is only 2 hours, and from Terminal 1 to Terminal 3, so it's quite far because Changi Airport is really big. But one good thing right now is like when you land in Singapore Airport, there's a staff that will guide you through. It's like we're having an excursion. I will also show like a video clip. And there you can see that we, like, along with other passengers, so we're like walking through, and then we are grouped according to our destinations. So I was with 4 other people because we're going to the same destinations, and other people were also grouped according to where they're going. And there's one person in charge for us to contact and communicate with the other person, like, hey, I got 4 passengers here going to Male. So that way you are not gonna be worried that you will miss the flight. And I walked like really long from there. So it's expected, but still it's a good time because you are sure you're not going to be missing your flight. Okay, so for that, and another one is, this is very important because if you are traveling and you will declare that you are meeting your other half, your boyfriend, your partner, your husband, which is a foreigner in another country, so you really have to get the CFO. CFO certificates, like Certificate of Filipino Overseas. I'm not sure if that's the meaning.
I don't know.
But basta it's CFO. I will put also the link down there of all the requirements I've been talking about. We've been sharing to you. CFO will show the immigration. That is very important in the immigration. Take note. You really need to have it in order for you not to be offloaded. That saved my ass, honestly, because this immigration officer has been asking me so many questions. I have shown them other pictures, like I'm going to meet him in Maldives, and also they asked if how long have we been together, where, but I will talk about those things later, like what are the questions in immigration,
where we met, and
yeah,
and
I think I need to make a video of that.
Yeah, make a video specifically on the CFO part.
So CFO really is very important. Just look for just click the link down there later, and then you will be directed to the CFO registration. I think I paid around almost 600 pesos for that. You need to do like an orientation. It's just a short orientation, maybe 30 minutes. They will just be asking you some informations, and then the main purpose of the CFO is to avoid abuses, trafficking that might happen once a Filipino is going to another country, because some Filipinos might be facing some problems when they go outside. Who knows? They just want to make the Filipinos be aware of the risks, the possibilities that might happen once they go outside of the country, meeting someone that they don't really know so much. So CFO is very important, because when I went to the immigration, they've been asking me so many questions, and then I said, and then he asked, I mean the immigration officer asked, do you have other documents? And then I showed, oh, I have CFO. Once I showed the CFO, they were like, oh, okay, she has a CFO. So they stamped, they approved my travel, my passport, they stamped. And then another one is the Affidavit of Support. It was not really being asked at the airport, but there's a possibility, because every officer, immigration officer, is different. They might ask you different stuff. So for us, we provided Affidavit of Support. This is also one of the advices that was given to us by our visa, enhanced visa.
Yeah, enhanced visa.
It's like an agency.
They help us out with everything that has to do with like foreign relationships.
Yeah. Enhanced Visa is the agency here in Cebu. They have different branches. They're the ones helping me with my process with my visa in the future. So along with that, they help me also with the CFO process, and they advised to me to get Affidavit of Support from him. He made Affidavit of Support. There's like a form there that states he's going to provide whatever things I needed. My safety also is included.
Yeah.
So it states there, and then he had it
notarized.
Yeah, in the USA, and then he just sent me a soft copy, scanned copy, and I printed it out. I showed it to them, and then I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So I think that also helped a lot, right?
Yeah, and then one thing I recommend couples who are trying to do this trip, or any trip, because we have other friends that they ended up going to Morocco.
Yes.
So when you start thinking about, oh, where should I meet my Filipina girlfriend, wife, and you don't want to deal with a 9A visa, maybe you want to take a vacation, there's a lot of places you can go to. Of course, you have different rules. Morocco is one of them. Dominican Republic, we were looking into that, and then Maldives. It was easier for her, so yeah. I'm a more experienced traveler. She's not so experienced yet, so I was like, let's make it easy for her. I know what to expect. But the main thing I want to say is keep communication always. Because if it wasn't for me having Wi-Fi in Qatar Airways, I wouldn't be able to send her those emails that were necessary for her immigration pass.
Yeah.
So I was so thankful. Qatar Airways is amazing. I think it's number one. Like I said, you should definitely fly. I had Wi-Fi and I sent emails and she was ready to go.
Oh, additional. Ooh. Well, I was facing the immigration officer, like at that moment, they were asking me for the passport. His passport. I had it with me in my online in my email, but at that time it's like taking time to scroll over. That was my mistake though. I didn't really make sure to have like a folder to easy access those important documents. So for Filipinos right there, keep a copy or a picture or a soft copy in your email or wherever you want to store it, that you can easily open it anytime, because they will be asking for your boyfriend's or husband's passport. And they will be asking you a lot of questions, because like, how old is your partner? They ask me many times about that. How old are you? How old is your partner? How many times have you met? So I will make another video about the immigration and how you really have to pass the immigration officer. Yeah. So I will be sharing you tips with that. So far, those are the things you need. So let's have like a summary. Okay, let's have the checklist. So see if you have all these things. Then if you have these things, then you're good to go. So you have passport, RT-PCR test, it should be negative, hotel booking Maldives, and if, for example, like the new policy right now, if they require you to have a quarantine hotel booking when you return to the Philippines, you also have to book that ahead. Then right now they said it's not needed, but for my case, I just want to make sure that I will be fine when I return, so I booked a hotel for like 6 days just in case. Round trip ticket, travel insurance, it should be covered, covering the COVID case. Bureau of Immigration declaration form, health declaration in IMUGA. You have to print the QR code. The birds are saying hi. Vaccination card or vaccination certificate, CFO certificate, and the Affidavit of Support. Did I miss something? So guys, I actually missed this one. This is the Bureau of Quarantine card. It's called somehow commonly called yellow passport. Get that one as much as possible if you're going outside the country, because that's also going to support that you are vaccinated already. So you can see there the brand of the vaccine that you had taken. So if possible, get it. So I guess that's all for the requirements.
Hey,
So
if you have any, excuse me, if you have any questions, let us know in the description below.
drop your comments,
Yeah.
your questions, reach out.
Yeah, let us know. We'll be glad to answer. This was definitely a challenge for us, an adventure. But we had to make it possible. You have to find ways during COVID in your LDR relationship. We know it's hard. We know it's tough. We've been there. We know the pain. We know the struggles. You have to fight through. You have to find ways, and this is one of the ways. Like I said, there's other ways. It might be different depending on where that person is, whether it's Europe, whether that person is in South America, what kind of passport does that person have. Maybe she can even fly to where you're at, depending on whoever is looking at this. So just ask us, let us know, and and also always look for the best deal if you can on the flights. Don't always go directly to just one site because there are cheap flights out there right now for sure. So, and I think that's it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be worth it. Like I tell you, we almost give up when his passport was not yet with him.
I would say last week I was super sad. I was like, I'm not gonna make it to the Maldives. My passport is stuck in the Philippine consulate, and they came through. I told them it was an emergency. I had to see her, and they understand. So yeah, and then later on we'll make another video on the Philippine 9A visa, which is also another challenge for many of us. So, but don't worry, we gotta stick together, help each other out, and that's why we're doing this.
Alright, so watch out for the next video. So we will be making video for like the expenses. I'm sure many people are asking, is it expensive? How much would it cost to be here in Maldives? So we will be making that video. For now, that's it, I guess.
Yeah.
See you.
Bye.
Thank
Take care.
you.